The question whether people do live in a simulation or not requires delving deeply into multiple perspectives, including philosophical, scientific, and technological angles. The question of whether people live in a simulation is one of the most provocative and intriguing philosophical inquiries of our time. Popularized in modern culture by movies such as The Matrix, the simulation hypothesis posits that our reality might be an artificial construct created by an advanced civilization. This episode explores the origins of this hypothesis, its philosophical foundations, scientific and technological implications, counterarguments, and the profound questions it raises about existence and reality. The concept that reality might not be as it seems has been a recurring theme throughout human history. Ancient philosophies and religions often pondered the nature of existence and whether the world perceived by our senses is the true reality. For instance, Plato's allegory of the cave suggests that the reality we perceive is merely a shadow of the true form of existence. Similarly, Hindu philosophy describes the world as Maya, an illusion. The modern simulation hypothesis, however, was rigorously formulated by philosopher Nick Bostrom in his seminal 2003 paper, Are You Living in a Computer Simulation? Bostrom's argument hinges on the premise that if it is possible for an advanced civilization to create a simulated reality indistinguishable from the real one, and if they choose to do so, then it is statistically probable that we are living in such a simulation. Philosophical skepticism, the questioning of the certainty of knowledge, forms the bedrock of the simulation argument. Solipsism, the idea that only one's mind is sure to exist, complements this by casting doubt on the existence of an external world. These philosophies raise foundational questions about the nature of reality and perception, which are central to the simulation hypothesis. René Descartes' thought experiment of an evil demon deceiving him about the nature of reality parallels the simulation hypothesis. Descartes postulated that a malevolent demon could manipulate his perceptions, making the external world a mere illusion. The simulation hypothesis modernizes this concept, replacing the demon with advanced technology capable of creating simulated realities. Nick Bostrom's simulation argument is structured around three propositions. 1. The fraction of human-like civilizations that reach a post-human stage, capable of running simulations, is very small. 2. The fraction of post-human civilizations interested in running simulations of their evolutionary history or variations thereof is very small. 3. The fraction of all people with our kind of experiences that are living in a simulation is very close to 1. Bostrom argues that if the first two propositions are false, the third must be true. Thus, if technological advancement continues, it is likely that we are living in a simulation. The field of quantum mechanics introduces phenomena that challenge our understanding of reality, such as particle-wave duality and quantum entanglement. Some scientists and philosophers argue that these phenomena could be indicative of an underlying computational structure, akin to a simulation. For example, the observer effect in quantum mechanics, where the act of observation alters the state of particles, might suggest that reality is being rendered in response to observation, similar to how graphics are rendered in a video game. Scientific explorations into the nature of information and computation also play a crucial role in the simulation hypothesis. Theoretical physicist John Archibald Wheeler proposed it from bit, suggesting that all physical phenomena derive from binary information, which resonates with the idea of a computational universe. Additionally, concepts such as the holographic principle, which posits that the entire universe can be described as a two-dimensional information structure, further align with the notion of a simulated reality. One of the key arguments for the simulation hypothesis is the exponential growth of computing power. According to Moore's law, the number of transistors on a microchip doubles approximately every 2 years, leading to exponential increases in computing capabilities. This trend suggests that future civilizations could possess the computational resources necessary to run highly detailed simulations of entire universes. Recent advancements in virtual reality, VR, and artificial intelligence, AI, provide a glimpse into the potential future capabilities of simulation technology. Current VR systems can create highly immersive experiences, and AI can simulate complex behaviors and environments. If these technologies continue to evolve, it is conceivable that future simulations could become indistinguishable from base reality. The most challenging aspect of the simulation hypothesis is the simulation of consciousness. While simulating physical environments is within the realm of foreseeable technology, replicating the subjective experience of consciousness is a significantly more complex problem. However, advancements in neuroscience and understanding of the brain might eventually make it possible to simulate conscious experiences. One of the primary criticisms of the simulation hypothesis is the immense computational power required to simulate an entire universe. Critics argue that even with advanced technology, the energy and resources needed to maintain such a simulation would be prohibitive. This challenge is compounded when considering the simulation of multiple conscious beings with rich inner lives. Another significant counterargument concerns the motivation of an advanced civilization to create such simulations. It is uncertain why a post-human civilization would invest resources in running detailed simulations of their ancestors. The hypothesis assumes a high level of interest and resource allocation towards such endeavors, which may not align with the priorities of future civilizations. From a scientific perspective, the simulation hypothesis is criticized for its lack of falsifiability. Currently, there is no empirical test that can definitively prove or disprove the hypothesis, making it challenging to engage with using traditional scientific methods. This limitation places the simulation hypothesis in a speculative realm, akin to metaphysical or philosophical inquiries rather than empirical science. If the simulation hypothesis is true, it fundamentally alters our understanding of reality. It suggests that what we perceive as the physical world is an artificial construct, raising questions about the nature of existence and the boundaries of human knowledge. This paradigm shift would necessitate a reevaluation of many scientific and philosophical assumptions. The hypothesis also brings into question the nature of consciousness. If our experiences are simulated, it implies that consciousness can be artificially created and manipulated. This has profound implications for our understanding of the mind, the self, and the potential for creating conscious entities within artificial environments. Living in a simulation might also impact our views on free will and determinism. If our actions and experiences are the result of programmed algorithms, it raises questions about the extent of our autonomy and agency. This could lead to a deterministic view of human behavior, where free will is an illusion created by the simulation. The simulation hypothesis raises ethical questions about the responsibilities of the creators of the simulation. If advanced beings have created our reality, do they have moral obligations towards us? This includes considerations of suffering, fairness, and the purpose of the simulation. The ethical framework governing such responsibilities would be complex and unprecedented. The potential discovery that we live in a simulation would profoundly affect human concepts of purpose and meaning. If our reality is artificially constructed, it might lead to existential reflections on the purpose of our existence within the simulation. This could influence religious and philosophical beliefs about the meaning of life and our place in the universe. If we are in a simulation, the possibility of interacting with or exiting the simulation becomes a topic of interest. This idea has been explored in science fiction, but it also poses practical and philosophical questions about the nature of our existence and the limits of our reality. The question of whether people live in a simulation encompasses a wide range of philosophical, scientific, and technological considerations. While the simulation hypothesis remains speculative, it challenges our understanding of reality, consciousness, and existence. Whether we are living in a simulation or not, contemplating this possibility encourages critical thinking and philosophical inquiry, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and imagination. By exploring the origins, philosophical foundations, scientific perspectives, technological feasibility, counterarguments, implications, and ethical questions, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity and intrigue of the simulation hypothesis. It remains one of the most thought-provoking ideas in contemporary discourse, prompting us to consider the deeper mysteries of the universe and our place within it.